talking about in this panel is how we go about making the fun happen in free roams. There's a lot of different sources that we use to come up with ideas for our game, and we're gonna talk about that in this panel. So one of the main sources is actually you guys, and the best resource that we use to get information from you is the forums. This is our forums here. If you guys haven't gone to the forums, you should definitely go there. There's a lot of great conversations that happen. What's going on over there?
We're bringing the fun.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm Lydia. I'm Zatoja. I manage the forums and the website.
Okay.
So we are we're constantly browsing the forums, like everyone on the team basically, looking for suggestions, ideas, things that you guys want to see fixed or added to the game. This is a list of several things we've added to the games based on your guys' suggestions, things that have been brought up on the forums that we then went ahead and added to the game. And the ball ride up there was actually something that came out of last year's Making Free Roams Fun panel. So at the end of this panel, we're going to do something. We're going to do that again. We're going to open it up for you guys to help us come up with a new ride idea. So that should be fun. Phoenix ride was something that a lot of people were asking about on the forums. We put that in. It's pretty awesome. The Nightmare Pet. A lot of people were asking for. So we have these really cool rides. Nightmare Ride. And people were asking for pet versions of those rides, so we went ahead and did that. This is one of the pets we came up with. Ride tracks. Players were saying that they wanted us to let them make racetracks to race on, and so we put a bunch of stuff into the game that would support that. And you guys made some pretty awesome rides in your houses, and so we started up a contest. Where we rated some of the rides that you guys made, and this was made by a guy named Roland Spore. I don't know if any of you guys know who that is, but he made a pretty awesome ride, and we ended up putting that in Snow Hill, actually. So now it's available for anyone to go check out whenever.
I've been on it.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
It's pretty fun. Cool.
A little bit challenging.
And the Vampires versus Werewolf event that we added to the Spectacular. This was something else that people were asking about in the forums. They wanted to see more vampires and more werewolves. And so we decided to put a dance-off competition into the game where you could join sides. You could join the vampires or the werewolves, help them prove who was the scariest by a dance-off.
So
It makes sense in Free Roams.
and we get a lot of
Maybe not anywhere else, but
we get a lot of tickets actually where the werewolves would lose, and people who were vampires would have tickets that said that the werewolves beat us, and that wasn't fair because we were better dancers or something like that. And that happened a lot when that was running. It was random every time.
changed every 15 minutes. Or
No? Oh, it's based on how many people you had. But that's what I mean. It wasn't a set thing.
That's true. That's true. Although I did hear that the vampires may have won more dance-offs last year than the werewolves. So I know.
spread that around.
I'm just saying, if you
Yeah,
guys
there's a camper right
if
there.
you guys are werewolf fans, you probably should
You need to
try
log in and represent.
try to help out
because-
the werewolves
yeah.
this October. Right, forums. Another way that we get ideas for coming up with new fun things out of the game is through business intelligence, which is a excuse me.
Moron.
Moron. No, it's a way. So it's essentially what that means is we track a lot of the activities that you guys do when you're playing free roams, and based on that information, we can tell what's the most popular activities in the game. So we can track who's playing match 3 games, who's playing cooking games, how many people are winning those games, how many people are losing those games. We can use that information to find out if something maybe is too difficult or
Just appears to not be fun.
exactly nobody's playing it because it just sucks. We'll pull that out or never make anything like it ever again. Ever. So one of the direct results of business intelligence in action was with combat, where we were getting a lot of data showing that people were having a hard time with combat. A lot of people dying, a lot of people failing combat encounters. So one of the things that we did to try and mitigate that was we added this little pop-up guide here, which gives some useful information about how to rule in combat, which has to do with using potions and using your abilities, that sort of thing. And after adding that, we saw a marked increase in the success rate of combat encounters. So that's business intelligence. So another way that we come up with fun ideas is internal feedback. And
I get that when I eat burritos sometimes.
yeah, that could be rough. Internal feedback is essentially when the team gets together and we just talk about what we enjoy, what we want to put into the game, the things that we like in our game, and because honestly, we're players too. This is a screenshot of Eric Hankins, his character in our game, in his house. He made a pretty awesome Mega Man block statue there. This is our lead designer, Steve Bacchus. He made his purple pimp house, I guess.
I don't think you can say that in the game.
Ooh, I'm sorry. Purple VIP house, something. This is Chris Fritchoff right here, designer in his house, I believe. It's like a racetrack or something.
Some sort of track. Yeah, it leads to a giant toilet bowl in the sky.
Okay.
Awesome.
And this is that's my character on my farm. It's farming.
I should have given you my castle.
You should have sent me a screenshot.
Yeah.
So, right, making fun from scratch. When we are, as a team, when we're talking, we're coming up with ideas. A lot of the times, there's sort of an evolution. Like we'll come up with something kind of simple, a simple idea, but maybe we don't necessarily know where it's going to go. But we think it'll be a fun thing to add to the game. And then we'll put it in, and it'll turn into something a lot bigger than what we expected. An example of that is the launch pads. Launch pads was a really simple thing to start out with. We just sort of had this idea of it's really fun to jump off stuff, like it's a fun thing to do. So let's put something in that will let us do that and have some fun with it. So we made launch pads, and we decided initially to just sort of put them around the world, make like jump courses around the world. And so we added some to Seaside and Snow Hill and various other places, and it was very well liked. You guys, were saying lots of great stuff about it on the forums, and so we decided to kind of continue that idea and make it available as a housing item. And so we made that item. You guys took that item. We did some awesome stuff with it, like this guy's house here. Which is just covered in launch pads, and we kept going with that idea, and we added that technology to beds. You bounce on your beds in your house, and so we carried it even further to the playgrounds, which we then added throughout the world in various places, and that's been pretty well received as well. I've heard a lot of people really enjoy the playgrounds. So it's interesting how a small idea can turn into a much bigger thing when it just it gets a lot of positive feedback behind it. Oh right, the realms role boombox. That was something else. It was just sort of a random idea that ended up being a really funny thing that was put into the game.
It's definitely funny to us.
Which apparently went over the heads of most of our audience with the shouts of "Why am I now a waiter?" But
What's even funnier when people use growth potions.
Use what?
Growth potions.
Growth
and you,
potions,
like,
so giant rig acid.
That's funny. Right. So when we're working on making Faire Homes fun, there's a process that we follow that starts with brainstorming. Like I said, we get together as a team and we talk about things we want to put in the game, and that's done through the brainstorming process. What is brainstorming?
Brainstorming is what you just mentioned you did before.
Right, exactly.
Stand outside his pew with a dry erase board and everything that's insane that we could possibly come up with.
Basically, yes. It's just a think tank where we're just throwing ideas at each other. Typically a whiteboard is involved, jotting ideas up on the board, shooting things down left and right, stuff that just isn't going to work, things that do sound good. We focus on that, we try to refine it, try to come up with try to improve it, turn it into a much better idea. And so we're actually going to go ahead and go into the panel challenge, where we're going to have you guys brainstorm with us right now to come up with a new ride to put in the game. Probably should up the whiteboard or something.
that should plan better.
Last year we did this, and a kid came up with the idea to do a ball mount, and I thought that they meant like this elaborate thing, but it was just a beach ball you could run around on. So then we took that and then we ran with it and we did variants. So on Halloween we had a jack-o'-lantern you could run on. We did a bowling ball. We did during the holiday. We have the sun. You can run on the sun. We have what else?
Snowball.
The
Which is my
snowball, snow
favorite.
globe. We have a snowball. We have a
Ball.
snow globe with just the glass. It looks like glass. And there's a snowman inside of it, and it turns with the ball. And then when you jump, little snow shakes up inside of it, which is kind of cool.
The magic 8 ball.
So usually we try to do things where we can get a little bit of mileage out of, or a really high cool factor. So like we have the Hydra mount for the VIP system. That took a while to make, but it's pretty cool. It was a fun mount to work on. The players seem to like it. There's a lot of them running around in the game. We also have a pet Hydra. So when we do an animal like that, it gives us a little more mileage too, because then we can use the mount as a pet. And with ranching coming up, maybe we'll work whatever we come up with today into ranching eventually too. Who knows?
Definitely could happen. So we're gonna open it up to you guys now. Anyone have an idea for a new ride they want to see in the game?
Octopus.
Wow, that's an awesome idea.
And we're done.
We're gonna end that right now.
Octopus would be very cool. That's something that we've wanted to do for a while.
Give them
And,
a station cash card for that.
it'd be pretty tough.
And because we know that it will take,
Floyd, the rest of his life.
weeks and weeks
it-
for
it won't
Floyd's
take
time
that
and
long.
nothing
It won't
else
take
will be getting animated.
Yeah, maybe Jessica will take care of everything else. I'll focus on the octopus.
Yes, sir.
I would want to see like a train, like a little steam engine.
A little train ride.
Yeah, you could drive around.
Well, you know, that's something that we've talked about doing. Rob Muller and I talked about really early on adding roller coasters before we even had rides.
Oh,
So
right.
you could get different pieces of track for your house and assemble them in such a way, and then buy the car. It went on it, it would go over the track, so almost like a roller coaster type thing. But that kind of never materialized. So maybe if we did something like that, we'd probably have it more in a housing instance, so you could have people over and
You like run tracks or whatever.
yeah. So you'd basically set up the path for it, and it would look for that next piece, and then go. And actually, with the mount tech, we do have the ability to have a driver and then other characters on the same mount as you, so you have multiple characters on one mount.
Are you sure?
That
Take people on the train.
Yeah, I'm saying that tech exists. Whether or not we'll actually make this
We do
thing
have
that's
that
mentioned,
technology.
we can do anything if we have enough time. I will say that right now on the record. We can do anything. Yeah,
You
It's
guys
recorded.
can start
It's on
singing.
YouTube.
It's in, it will live on in infamy.
So the
Okay.
internet must be true.
He's the one that's gonna have to face our management on
So
I
Yeah.
know. Is there being here?
my idea is it's kind of like a paint gun, but it works the way Iceman does in Marvel, where you can shoot it underneath and write it, and it can color the world that you're around.
So the
basically,
idea
you're
is-
coloring under you.
We
And
should probably repeat it for the camera, because they may not hear some of these stuff. So the idea was that like an Iceman style X-Men, or like Frozone from Incredibles, where they lay down the ice and you go on, but his idea is paint gun, so we lay down different colors.
Yeah,
and
rainbow or
you could,
patterns you can implement.
Oh, that works a lot. It'd be like a particle effect, I guess, it'd play under you all the time. Kind of like what the hoverboard, the surfboard hoverboard
You
does.
can almost do that not as even a mount, do like different shoes with different animation
That's
style of the
doable, or
shoe.
like paint
So you just
propellant
slid,
sort of thing.
you buy like a
And
specific
over
color
time,
shoe.
the color would disappear, so then that way you would like scribble stuff or write bad things and like
Yeah.
write your name in cursive or something across your friend's house. Yeah.
Zamboni.
A Zamboni.
I'm pretty sure we could probably just.
Do we know what a
remodel the
Zamboni is?
tractor.
Zamboni is what they use on a like a hockey rink to resurface the ice.
Oh.
We should probably reskin the tractor and we're
Yeah.
done. We just put the garden tractor in, I would bet that would make it easy, that'd be an easy fix, or easy swap.
Probably.
We could do that this afternoon.
Later.
We're not gonna, but we
I
could.
done yet.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Do you have
Someone
something
can
to write
type
with?
these down in
I
a
got
it.
notepad or something?
I got it.
Lydia's got it.
Oh, you're writing them all down?
Thank you, Lydia.
Good job.
For being
The thing with the
prepared.
paint idea is you can for
You get a
your
station
the
extra.
seasonal changes with the fall mounts, you can put like different items. Like
Oh,
clovers
different,
for
different
St.
colors
Patrick's
and stuff.
Day and
That would be cool.
Christmas lights for Christmas.
That would be cool. It's a good idea. Yeah.
Over there.
Backpack with basically like a propeller blade off the top of it, just enough to get.
Oh, like a helicopter backpack. That's cool.
Like a jetpack.
Like a jetpack, but with a helicopter blade. That's cool. That'd be.
I like that.
That'd be fun.
Again, that can be shoulders a lot of items.
Oh, like a beanie hat with a propeller on it? Don't we have a propeller hat in the game already, but it doesn't make you fly or anything, it just kind of spins around.
Did that come in the first TCG?
I think it's
booster
TCG.
set?
We have a lot of cool stuff that's kind of buried / hidden / not too popular in the TCG, right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff, there's
No
farting, and burping in the game that you can do if you have the card, or if you do the Quested Chug-a-Lug, or Wugga-Chuck, when you get the sarsaparilla, that makes you burp.
But yes, back to your original question, I think we have a spinner.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but it doesn't make you fly. We could probably do that.
Yeah, as long as it's, not that far off the ground.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
it's what? You're not doing a jetpack to get the real high mark,
Right.
you're not doing a helicopter. to
Right.
get the real high mark.
It's a helicopter backpack.
We were talking about that once, like, would you accept a superpower if it came with a weird side effect? Like, you could fly, but you can only fly about 3 inches off the ground and really slow. Or like you could turn invisible, but it was like when you were invisible, so it wouldn't really. I mean, in real life. This is what happens when we do this. It kind of gets.
What about banana peel shoes, so you just slide everything?
You need slippers. That's probably doable. It's just alternate locomotion, variable, we can do that.
Yeah.
Banana shoes.
We have some comments from the web.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
excellent.
Flying
read
carpet.
Flying carpet is definitely doable. Actually,
It's
flying
been on our
carpet.
list to do for a long time.
Flying carpet is modeled, and it's rigged, sitting on my hard drive. We just never
no
implemented
animations.
it. Yeah.
Animations.
It's not animated yet, but it's the actual model is
It's not
ready, and it's rigged. Steve Murquhart made that.
Yes. So the hard part is still needs to be done.
Hard is a relative term. It wouldn't take too long. What do you think?
We can do it this
You
afternoon.
sit Indian style on a carpet.
Later today, but we're not gonna.
We could do flying carpet. Well, actually, flying carpet is pretty good too, because then we could do an alternate of that where you're on a cloud flying, or you're on a.
Would you do it
Someone in one of
sitting?
the other panels.
Yeah, you
Person
could
sit, or would they be riding like a surfboard?
I don't know. Well, no, I wouldn't want to do it. So we already
I'd
have
rather
surfboards.
sitting.
Yeah, sitting would be cooler because we already have the little like Swami hat thing, right? What is that called?
Turban?
The turban.
The
Yeah.
jewel
Wait, what's it called in our game? Is
turban.
it called turban in our game?
Gem encrusted turban or something like that?
Okay.
Jewel encrusted turban? I haven't memorized every item I've played.
I mentioned the cloud yesterday.
What's that?
I mentioned the cloud.
Oh yeah, you
yesterday.
mentioned the cloud was already mentioned actually, but
We do have the Fairweather hoverboard.
which is a cloud,
Oh, that's true.
and we have a storm cloud version of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
was
did you
it?
say in the back, Jim?
I said it'd be a good idea if you could make that carpet hold more than one player on it, two people group together or something like that.
It's like a hall carpet, like a really long carpet.
Good idea, long hold two players.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
We have a tool set that we use internally that we use to slot up animations and stuff. And a lot of the code that was written for that was done in the anticipation that we would eventually have multiple characters on one mount.
Yeah.
So the way that would work is you're driving it and you're like, hey, get on my carpet, and then they would pop onto your carpet and then they would just move wherever you move. So only you would be steering, they'd just go along for the ride. And then I guess they could probably jump off whenever they wanted to.
Or if you jump off, they're stuck.
Crashing into stuff.
How about the cars we already have for go-kart and demolition?
The cars for racing and go-kart demolition as rides in the open.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is that they're huge compared to the players. But I mean, that hasn't stopped us before this guy.
We have a T-Rex
I would say scaling, we would probably
We'd
do
probably-
like a go-kart version of them to tool around. Nothing probably bigger than like what the tractor is right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, right now, if you want to drive around, the tractor's your best bet because you can do that currently, and that's probably about as big as we'd go with a vehicle, I would think.
Probably.
They're saying umbrella.
An umbrella, like Mary Poppins. We have to do Sherry Bobbins. Although, but then again, that's been used too, so we'd have to do something else.
Perry Moppins.
Perry Moppins.
Someone out in the ballroom had suggested broomsticks. Why have we
Broomsticks?
never done a broomstick? So,
Isn't there some game about wizards or something? Yeah. Yeah, that's doable.
sound a little more enthused there.
Looks like
How many people on broomstick rides? Nobody? One. Alright. What else? What else you got?
Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts as a mount? Wow, Pop-Tart! Look at me! Oh, the 9-cat, yeah. If anybody doesn't know what that is, look it up. Can you sing it? Can you sing it?
No.
Only if it is the 8-bit like model. If it's
There actually already is an 8-bit version of that in game. Somebody in their house I was in. Yeah, it's amazing looking. It must take forever. I don't have the patience for that or the time. But it's in free roams already. I forget whose house it is. Somebody on the forums might log in and say who it was.
What?
The Nyan, how do you say it? Nyan cat, Nyan cat. That looks like a Pop-Tart is in the game already in somebody's house. They built one. Yeah. I found it through the housing rating system.
Wait, that's not the Hello Kitty one, is it?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
That's the Hello Kitty.
Different cat.
Different cat.
Yeah.
I don't know my cats.
Yeah. You'll never forget this cat. If you look it up on the internet, it just burns into your brain. What else? What else? Yep. An avalanche as a ride. You can only ride it once. Actually, we were talking. I just got an iPhone, but it's an iPhone 3, so it's like from state of the art 2 years ago or whatever. But I was taking notes last night, and we were talking about things we could add that would be cool environmentally in the game. And avalanche is one of the things Matt mentioned putting in Stonehill somewhere. So maybe we could set something up where it would physically push you down the hill.
Really happened?
The chat happened, yes. But then we're like, how the heck would Ryan Shannon do that? I don't know.
Really, you put that on me.
And we said, that's up to Ryan Shannon. So let's give out Ryan Shannon's email address and desk phone number so that if you want it, you can contact him directly. Yeah?
Well, I know there are already surfboards that do the water wake, but like a surfboard that literally wave on land.
Well, we do have a surfboard that we kind of made a wave out of particles, but it doesn't really read as a surfboard. It's still a hoverboard with like this magical wave behind it. Anybody ever play? What was the game on the NES in the '80s where you could surf? Not skater.
TNT Surf.
TNT Surf Design. Yeah.
Skater Die.
It was around the same time as Skater Die.
It was both of those, or California Games.
California Games, I think. I was thinking of. But it would be cool to do a surfing game. And it would be cool to be able to leave work. We're in San Diego. It'd be cool to leave work and just go to the beach for the day and say surf reference. We have to. We don't want to.
You can make a surfing one like the racing.
It would be cool to do a mini game. See, something like that is way more involved. What else?
How about creature mounts? Any more creature mount ideas, especially since we have ranching coming up.
Yes.
You can't raise a surfboard.
Some of the, we've got a lot of dinosaurs as pets. How about a lot of them as mounts, like the Triceratops?
Triceratops mount would be cool.
I totally want to see the duckbill
Duckbill mount.
running all like spastic.
Oh yeah. There's some dinosaurs we haven't done either yet, like Brontosaurus or Brachiosaurus, depending on when you went to school, I guess. What was it?
How about a kangaroo?
A kangaroo. A kangaroo would be awesome. And
So then
that's
the
something we
question-
talked about as well.
But the question with that is, do you ride on the back?
No, you
No,
don't.
Ours make use of us. We also That's great, kangaroo, that's really good. Giant kangaroo, gnashing teeth. Maybe that could be the first combat mount that can box. That would be cool. Or, we also talked about doing a mount where we would just pull out enemies in the game and start to make those mounts, so you'd have like a Yeti, and he would just carry you, and you're just in his arms like Baywatch style. That'd be ridiculous. That could be something.
We're gonna ride on their shoulders.
No, that's too easy. That's too easy. But what would be cool with the Yeti mount is when you spawn it, you lost control and you just run wherever with you. You basically kidnapped for a while, however long that's
It would be avalanche.
Design
Can we
it.
check legal if we can abduct players in the game?
Sure, why not? Another 8-bit design them like that 8-bit, Yeti that comes out on the old Windows snowboarding game.
I'm trying to remember that.
Oh,
Where's like a
that's
stick
right,
arm,
just
he
like
runs on, just
jumped
grabs
in,
you.
Totally destroyed you. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, say Yeti,
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
So there's a llama that spits,
a llama that spits. That could be cool. A llama mount.
a phoenix.
A phoenix. Could be,
We already have
phoenix. We have a
They
phoenix.
want a golden phoenix. I don't know.
A golden phoenix. Adjust your monitor settings. Just mess with your gamma.
I'll let them know.
Yeah. Problem solved. What else you got?
Cow rides.
Clown? What did you say?
Cow.
Oh, cow. I did say clown.
Same thing with Yeti,
A
just
giant
carry you.
domo.
A
And
giant
he
what?
juggles you.
A giant what, Joel?
A giant domo.
Giant domo. Well, see, the domo thing, domo is in the game, but that was a promotional item, so we'd have to go through the domo people again. So we can't do stuff that's already an existing IP. Like we have to do stuff that's
It
already
would be a double domo.
double domo.
What about chicken?
And an ostrich.
Ostrich could be cool.
I like that.
Ostrich. Ostrich.
Any sort of running birds.
That could be cool.
Chicken again.
Let's do a couple of them instead of just one.
No.
What?
How about a spider mount?
A spider.
Spider.
That could be cool.
That's cool.
Octopus mount.
Penguin,
A penguin mount.
always.
It just doesn't go anywhere. You're standing up and it can't move.
That's sliding.
Slide
It
the
just
whole
sits
way.
on its back and you just ride.
Oh, you ride its belly. That's cool.
Like
That could be cool.
Just like one penguin under each foot.
You skate with them. Yeah. What was that? What was
Is it pogo stick?
pogo stick?
It's
That
not
could
an
be cool.
animal, but still.
That was something we talked about. Pogo
Yeah, we
stick.
talked about
and
pogo
stilt.
stick and like, yeah, stilts, unicycle.
And a big wheel.
Silly stuff.
Big wheel would be cool.
As long as
Those
it has to
bicycles
spin
with the
on
one wheel's much bigger than the other.
Oh, like the old timey bikes. Yeah. Hello, fellows.
it. Yeah, with the bowler cap.
Yeah, and the monocle.
Totally
Some
got
of the things
that
that
There's
came up
oxygen.
on the, some of the things that came up on the forums before Faire was, people wanted roller skates and skateboards.
Roller skates and skateboards. That'd be cool. I mean, skateboards we kind of already have with hoverboards, so I don't know if we'd add a skateboard.
Well, I mean,
But-
they're floating. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, it's if we're gonna add something, we probably want to add something that's totally different than what we got right
And if you wear a costume, you crash and break your knee.
Yes. If you wear your chatty costume, you crash your skateboard.
Oh, no, that's just you.
Yeah.
Flying saucer.
Flying saucer.
Yeah, like the old 1950s.
So,
Yeah, I like
like
that
That'd be
too.
really
You like that?
Do that again. Nice.
Or you could do the Jetsons like. We'd have to get the license from Hanna-Barbera.
But I don't think they can copyright a sound effect.
Maybe not, I don't know.
That's
Legal?
We'll have to check.
Legal? Legal? You want some legal in here? How about a lawyer mount?
Swinging the briefcase.
I don't know, that's weird. What else? What else?
Anything else from online?
Orax, it's a big horse looking
Did they-
thing with long spear-like horns.
I don't know that.
I don't know it either, I actually.
Maybe.
How's it spelled though?
Or no, is that the horse with a bunch of legs?
ORAX.
Is that the horse with a bunch of legs?
No,
Isn't it, there's the mythical horse that's got like 8 legs or something.
I think somebody did.
What is it?
It's Odin's horse.
Odin's horse has a bunch of legs.
and
is that
the
Orax?
nine-tailed fox.
I don't know.
Or nine-tailed fox.
And
We did a 3-headed dragon, that took forever. 9-tailed fox.
They all move at the same time.
Right.
He walks on his tails, just sits like
It's
this,
just
and then the
one
tails
bone.
move.
That's just one bone.
You weird. You do it.
You're over
Throw it on a pile.
You're over here like octopus. I can do that in a day. and then somebody says 9-tailed fox, and you're just like, no, it's impossible.
Talk about the Yeti going crazy. You could have a runaway carriage, and you got to try to rein it in.
You know what's funny about this kind of is a little bit of an aside, but when we first added mounts, we did the T-Rex mounts. The humans, when they ride the T-Rex, when it runs, they ride it normally. But when the pixies are on it, they hold on for dear life like it's a runaway thing. We thought that was hysterical. We had a lot of players that didn't like that because they thought the pixies should be able to ride it just as well as a human. Which is true. So
Wow.
since then, every time we've added a mount, it's ridden the same way, whether you're human or pixie. Which kind of, we ran into a problem a little bit with the bikes because we wanted to do just one bike. But there's such a size difference between the pixies and the humans. So the human is actually a little bit too big for that bike, and the pixie's a little too small for that bike. So it's like if your dad rode your bike when you were a kid, you know, like you ever go to a party and your dad got a little too drunk or something and then rode your bike. Nobody? Just me?
It's the wrong forum for
I
that
mean,
discussion.
Sarsaparilla from Wagacho. Listen to me backpedaling, speaking of bikes. But so that's the problem we run into sometimes is that the pixie human thing, I mean, and if we ever had another player race, they all have to be able to ride the same mounts. So that's a consideration we have to do. So something like a hoverboard is a little easier than something where it's very specific to the size of the character.
You can't do race-specific mounts. There's games that do that.
We can't do race-specific mounts? We
can
can do
technically do
anything. If you
race-specific
rewind the
mounts.
video later, you'll see.
But then it's more like some of our other race-specific stuff that we have up on the store. I'm trying to think of.
Like pixie wings, right?
Well,
Humans can't buy those.
I'm trying to think. There's some stuff up there. It's really wonky because then we have to make 2 items. So that adds confusion. You're looking at it, you're like, oh, I want to buy this. And you check and make sure it's 4 pixies or 4 humans.
Yeah. And some of the stuff
It's
too, we
system
have,
check,
it's like
you
gender
can't buy that.
specific, like it's only available.
We can
for
get
male
code
and
support for it. It's all a matter of, cost versus benefit in the long run, so.
What else? What else?
How about a luge board?
A luge board. Oh, like you lay down on it? Like, or wait, skeleton is when we go forward,
That's
right?
full.
Yeah, so luge would be backwards. That'd be cool. Well, luge was one of the things we talked about putting in snow hill on that.
Like a mini game or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think we got something called shush booming.
Oh.
Something.
Yeah, where you run down the hill.
Yeah.
You can pick
Like
up on
the end of Little House on the Prairie. Any Little House on the Prairie fans in the audience?
You can click up on the.
What else? What else?
Pick up on the planking trend and just
Planking?
line down.
A plank
just
mode?
nothing on there and they just start moving around.
Yeah, I just heard about that like yesterday. I had no idea what planking even was. It's weird.
When I found out about what planking was, I was like, really? That's kind of.
I don't know. Somebody explained it because I learned yesterday.
Didn't it start in Australia or something? Planking? Any Australian players? Can they confirm?
I think it started with pirates, walk the plank.
No.
No,
It's different. You fly on an object, just flat out, like head first, like you're flying.
And they take
And you
pictures of
take a
you,
picture of
should be
yourself
fat.
and that's it. There's
Don't
no
know why.
overboard, there's no nothing. You
Alright.
just
Okay.
take a picture of yourself on something, right?
There's pictures of like Rosario Dawson that's done planking as well.
So that makes it legit now.
It's
Yeah.
Very
that-
impressive.
that-
What else mount related? Anything?
Some big
guys
animals
mean-
like an elephant or a mammoth.
An elephant would be cool.
I think it has to have a howdah.
Was it?
A howdah.
If we do an elephant.
Yeah, a little thing that sits on top.
Yeah.
Carriage.
How about an RC car that you control while you ride on it?
That would be cool.
So like you stand on it.
That's
Two per,
An
like
RC
two,
car.
I think I heard of
One on-
Totoro.
one on each foot.
Two remote control cars.
Yeah, one on each foot.
I don't know what that is.
The
Totoro would be cool, but then again, that's an IP that exists, that we have to get Miyazaki to sign off. I don't think it's gonna happen. Sorry, Totoro fans. Although Jessica
they're
Rojek at
devastated.
work would love that, she's into all that stuff.
They're devastated.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. What else? What else? That is not an existing IP. So IP is intellectual property, so like if it's a character or something that exists somewhere.
I think probably enough. 'Cause we need to actually decide on one.
Oh, we're gonna decide on one? Okay, so,
Or narrow it down.
alright, so what else we got? What do we have
What
on
do
your
we
list?
have so
Alright,
far?
so we've got octopus.
Octopus?
No.
How many people like octopus? Just a few hands?
No.
8 of them?
Then we get trains, but
Trains, well, trains,
we said we would like house food.
we probably do trains as a housing thing, right?
I mean, we could do like a train ride that was like, it'd have to just be the size of like a tractor.
How to train your train.
You have that little train that goes in the.
We do have a housing item, it's a train, where you click on it, it just kind of goes
So
there.
you could technically do a train.
Just make it bigger.
We talked way back about doing like rides that you'd see outside like an old grocery store,
We
we put a
have
quarter
one
in
of
and it just kind of does this.
We have one of those. In fact, according to my BI reports, we sold one, but I think it was while we were IP locked before we launched.
Oh,
Maybe
Because
we
it's
could
down at
put-
the bottom of the list.
Maybe we
It's
can
like,
put a seat on that and just sell it for as a housing item, and you click on it, your character pops into it.
well, that was the thing, was getting seating in game.
Yeah.
What was that?
Fire truck, ambulance, police cars, in fact, emergency type vehicles.
Emergency vehicles.
Like little light flashing around it, didn't have to make a lot of noise, they just love that kind of stuff.
We could do that. Yeah.
Motorcycle.
A motorcycle. We have a bike right now, and then we have a futuristic bike, which kind of looks like a motorcycle, but you can still pedal it. It's a little weird, but that's probably close to what.
Well, that's not a motorcycle.
You're right, it's not a motorcycle.
It's not. It's
You're not,
people,
you're right.
people call it a motorcycle, so.
Alright, so we're supposed to be narrowing.
We're narrowing down.
Alright,
Alright, we're narrowing it down.
Alright, so we got octopus, train, paint gun, Zamboni, jetpack, slippers, flying carpet, clouds, go-karts, umbrellas, broomsticks, Pop Tarts, but I don't remember the description was that.
Those in my cat.
Avalanche, surf ranching, wait.
Your notes!
I know, I can't read my writing, it's chicken scratch. It's
Use the
chicken
force.
scratch. This is not the
This is not the list you're looking for?
yeah. Triceratops, what is that?
Triceratops.
Triceratops,
We can't call them that anymore.
okay.
What?
They're now Taurus.
So I just put down dinosaurs
What
next
is
to
such a
it, so.
dinosaur nerd?
Kangaroos.
How many people like kangaroos?
Yeah.
I like
Kangaroos.
That looks like more than.
Wait, how many people like kangaroos? It's gonna count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many people like octopus?
Can I
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Are we not There was also a yeti, llama that spits,
Llama that spits.
yeah, sphinx, cows.
That's important, by the way.
Giant,
Can't just be a llama.
yeah,
This
giant
is not the
domo,
llama.
ostrich, spiders, penguins, pogo sticks, big wheels, roller skates, skateboards, flying saucer, which I like too.
I like flying.
Orax, whatever. Nine-tailed fox.
I think we're done.
I put down dragons, somebody said something. Luge boards, elephants, RC, remote control cars, emergency vehicles, and motorcycles. That's the
Okay.
list.
So octopus. What was the other one?
Kangaroo.
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 Those are the top two right now.
And what
I think
else?
flying carpet was up there too.
Flying carpet. Do we want to? First three UFO. How many people like
Oh,
UFO?
UFO too, yeah. Let's do the 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's pretty high up there. People in the room. So UFO, flying carpet, octopus, kangaroo.
Yeah.
One of the 4. All right. How many for octopus again? Are you looking at the form or the
On the
chat?
web, they're saying kangaroo and flying carpet.
kangaroo and flying carpet?
Now it's spamming flying carpet. I don't know.
Is it one person
Is it one
spamming
person
flying
doing
carpet?
it,
Or is
you
it
know?
No, it's a bunch of people. They're crazy.
flying carpet?
The
They're not here
octopus
in
would have
person.
all the little stuff.
Must be present to win.
present to
Sorry,
cheers.
internet. Overruled.
Press 2 to win.
If you purchase station cash in the next 10 seconds.
No.
Okay. So how many people in the room?
What, vote once
So we only
for each of these 4?
Vote once for each of these 4 people in the room. All right. You got to vote for one. All right. Flying carpet.
Oh, sorry, internet.
Oh, all 4 choices are flying carpet, UFO, octopus, and kangaroo. All right. All right. People in the room.
The kangaroo have boxing gloves or just?
We could do a variant with boxing
Let's do
gloves
that.
for the kangaroo. All right. Flying carpet. How many for flying carpet in the room? 0. Was that a flying carpet vote, or are you waving to
he was
someone?
waving.
Okay, he was waving. False alarm. We have 0 votes in the room for flying carpet.
There's apparently a lot of votes on the internet.
Well, they should have come with
You
fanfare.
don't believe everything you see on the internet.
I told him to press F5.
There are a lot
All right, what's the
All right.
next?
Octopus. How many people for octopus? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on, guys. You gotta imagine it. It's like,
Okay. How many people for UFO?
0.
1 person for UFO. How many people for what was the last one?
Kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
okay.
Wow.
That's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
With boxing gloves.
With boxing gloves. His vote is dependent upon boxing gloves.
It still wins though.
I think kangaroo wins.
Looks like it.
This will be huge in Australia.
I
And
can't
the
wait.
Outback
I can't wait
Steakhouse.
for the armored kangaroo.
Armored kangaroo will be
With the
awesome.
laser side eye.
Laser eye.
Armored
All right,
kangaroo
make him
can do
steampunk.
battle.
You heard it
Or have
here.
himself.
Kangaroo.
Robot.
That's what it's going to be. And
You do
now we're up
variants.
against a clock because last year we got the beach ball mount in about a month,
That's true.
didn't we?
Well, I'm gone for the next 2
I have
weeks.
faith in
pal.
you, Floyd.
Sorry.
I can animate it in less than that. I just need a bone.
Yeah.
Who
That's your
originally said the flying carpet?
The internet.
The internet, okay. And then who said the,
Let's try internet.
who said the flying saucer?
Gentleman back there. Chuck it.
All right.
Flying saucer.
Yeah, throw it to him.
Use the force.
They're monkey old.
Well, you know what we'll do?
He's on the card.
Let's take these 4, right, and we'll put them in our backlog. So when it's time to add another mount, we'll pull from those.
Why
maybe.
don't you put them in your fabulous iPhone?
I will do that right
Is that an advertisement?
now. Yes.
No.
iPhone 4 are not affiliated
I
with.
know, it sounded like.
There's an app for that.
All right, I'm writing them down.
I'm gonna email it to you too, just in case you.
Awfully
Um,
excited.
Use
I've
your
got
iPhone and-
notes program. Is it? I probably should say the name.
Say again?
The way you make
Evernote.
Floyd,
What?
headsets.
Oh, we have a headset to give
For
away.
winning for suggesting the
Oh, cause of
kangaroo.
kangaroo, yeah.
Oh, so who said kangaroo?
You
Lady
did
in the
it.
back there.
There you go.
Oh, she's gonna
The
use
floor.
the oh, we're gonna lose the camera.
I'm in the wrong world.
It's more than we've got.
Okay, let's see. That's why the microphone is on this end too. Let's see. Oh, we were gonna do. Okay, yeah, never mind. All right, I can't type and hold the
It's
mic.
cool, it's cool.
Type with
I
the
don't
mic.
even know why you're using that.
I don't know either.
Sing us out, Ryan.
Everyone can hear us.
It's a good thing our producer wasn't entirely committed to all the stuff we just did.
Hi!
We'll talk about this later. Alright, well, so now we're gonna open up to question and answer. You guys have questions? Clearly.
I don't play the game. My son does.
Okay.
He's 3 years old. So he can't read any of the content. He
Right.
looks at it purely for how fantastic it looks, and then clicks it and does it. He can tell he plays on the PS3, and he can tell what the buttons are and what to do when he sees a button. He just presses it and sees what happens. So I wanted to ask if you guys could endeavor to. I know your target is typically like 8 to 12-year-olds, but because he really enjoys it, and I have a daughter who's younger than him who probably will try it as well. If you can endeavor to make more things, just big, flashy buttons, large arrows, and things that don't require extensive reading, so they can just simply find something, click it, and enjoy.
Right.
Because those are the only content he really plays. It's the
That's
stuff
why I
that
had to
requires
buy
no instruction. He just clicks it. That's it.
The question was, can we endeavor to put less words into the game and more big, pointy, flashy arrow things to help our younger players out?
What's the internet say about that?
They just want an AFK hat. I don't know.
I want to say it away from keyboard.
So we've definitely over the years moved more in that direction. We've tried to reduce the amount of words we put into our quest content that we deliver, and we've tried to like that help thing that comes up in combat. A lot of that is visual. You know, there aren't a lot of words in that pop-up thing. It's more like, here are the buttons you press on the keyboard. Here's the thing that you click on to drink. We have tried to move in that direction, and I think it is a direction that we're still going to be trying to move in as we add more things to the game. So I don't know if we can fully commit to that, but we're definitely going to keep adding things like that to the game.
So what does he do in game?
Mostly fishes.
Mostly fishes.
He loves to pull up treasure chests. He doesn't know what to do with any of the things that he gets, but he enjoys getting them. He drives on the racetrack. He plays soccer, and he runs around and loves to swim.
Okay, cool.
Well, Amy on our team, her daughter, when she was really liked to place the blocks in the house. So she pretty much would just put them all up in the house. That was all she did.
More questions?
Two things. One, a couple years back, there was a discussion about how when you finish a dungeon, you kind of get into the repetitious mode of you spin the wheel, you get the coins in the potion, way more than you get some of the more rare stuff that you're after. There was discussion of if somebody comes on and goes through and goes, I've ran through Troll Forest, 25 times. Give me the option to, okay, I'm locking out this option on the wheel. Run it another X amount of times. Lock out this option. Where you can't right away go in and go, okay, yeah, I want this, but if you've run it multiple times in a row, you start you can start being given the option to start knocking off the more mundane stuff to where you can eventually get down to, if you don't get lucky enough, eventually, okay, I've run it 100 times, at least know I'm finally going to be able to get this item. And the second thing was, what about more like a Victorian era steampunk costume set?
I think
You didn't like our cowboy clockwork set then?
I liked it, but I was looking
Not what you were looking for.
It was good, but I was looking for more of like the old Victorian era.
So for the internet, the question was, can you narrow down the choices of a prize wheel so that you hit the cool stuff easier if you've run it multiple times? And then can we do more steampunk outfit kind of stuff?
More Victorian.
Well, we have a Victorian era stuff. We've got Clockwork Cowboy stuff that's available through the newer card game that's Camp Robbie, Camp Chatty area. You can get it that way. And then as far as the prize wheel stuff, that's kind of weighted by you guys. Right?
It's weighted by so we have a fixed number that we kind of shoot for that you should be able to earn in like an hour of gameplay amount of coin, supposedly. Things like power hour and exploits and whatnot. Get around that. So a lot of the time, the amount of coin on there is directly related to the worth of the other items on there, as well as the percentage chance that we want you to be hitting that stuff. So straight up eliminating it might be difficult. Maybe adding in something like a luck stat that you could level up that would allow you to, so if it's like a 5% chance on that item you want, maybe doing something where you could say you want that and you apply your luck stat to it, so it gives you a 10% chance on your 5% to increase it. We could do maybe something like that, but I don't know that we could just outright probably remove it without going back and reevaluating all of the rewards in the game and all those loot wheels, and that would be a pretty hefty task.
It just gets fairly repetitive after a while when you're trying to finish a suit.
So you're talking about the level 20 probably elite stuff specifically?
Yeah. Specifically some of that, because it does get monotonous where you're down to, okay, I need the headpiece, and that's all I need, and you might run it 20 times one day, come back and run it 20 times the next day, and 2-3 weeks before you get the thing. And you get to a point where you are kind of tired of the dungeon. I mean, they're very enjoyable to play through, but the 50th time through,
It's no fun after that.
yeah, it does turn it into a grind. It's the only area of the game that I can say it really does feel like a grind and not like a, hey, I'm having fun doing this.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we can try brainstorming, figure out ways to either more easily introduce those same items in other ways, or like I said, something like a luck stat, or some alternative to making it not so grindy, because that's not what we want in free roams. At the same time, we do know that there is a portion of the player base who wants stuff that does take a long time to get, so they can show it off. So there's a happy medium there that we have to find. So
rarity and stuff.
yeah.
What else?
Any more questions?
Are we over
Second
time
question?
already? Or?
Not yet.
Are there any questions online?
Online. What's the scoop on Sunstone Valley? Is it almost done? Is there a chance for it to come out this year?
There's no chance for it to come out this year. After talking to Harvey this morning about it, he said it's not gonna happen this year. In the animation panel,
Harvey can speak for himself.
Is he out there?
Yeah.
The internet wants to go.
Oh, there he is.
Walk
Come
in
on
the
up.
back.
Come on up. Sunstone Valley, is it coming out this year?
There's a possibility.
Oh, well, there you go. This is Harvey.
Harvey Burgess, our producer.
Come on to the camera. Come on to the camera.
Oh.
Now he's really excited. All you say is going on the internet.
Yeah, now everything's on the internet.
On YouTube already.
Sunstone Valley, what's the story?
So we've got a plan for a farming update and then ranching, which you've probably heard by now. And then after that, we're looking at providing Sunstone Valley. So it really depends on how much we're able to do in a short amount of time. But we can see. It might end up being like farming, where we provide something and then provide a large update for it afterwards as well. So
As was said on one of the previous panels, we don't want to open up a new environment and then you're just doing more of the same stuff as opposed to.
And we showed some characters from Sunstone Valley this morning at the animation panel, so maybe we can get some of that up on the web for the people that couldn't make it to Faire to see.
They would like more hairstyles.
More hairstyles. That's something we could do, probably.
That is something we do. Great.
Potentially working on.
Yes. Yes.
I can give you a list.
I can't. Whatever you do to mess around in Vegas, we can.
Modify some. The hairstyles for
Yeah.
What else?
We still want an AFK hat.
What would an AFK hat look like?
Just a hat that says
Flashes.
AFK.
I'm imagining just a dunce cap.
We'd have to
with
localize
like
that
a
though.
screen.
What's Spanish for away from keyboard? Anybody
Do we
speak
have to
Spanish?
localize that? We've done other stuff.
We have to localize an AFK hat, 'cause what if it means something
AFK
dirty
is
somewhere?
universal.
Are you sure?
You read that
I don't
one?
know.
I'm on the
You read
internet.
that on
Oh my god.
As long as it doesn't mean like something dirty.
Don't
Somewhere
even
else.
try
I'm not
to
gonna
think about
suggest what
something
it could
that's
mean, but like, yeah. A million things just popped in my head.
Oh,
jumping right
wow.
up. Yeah, always something.
Next.
What else?
More storage.
Oh, closet system was something that came up on the forums. So that you've got this list, like I've got every subarctic winter wear thing. If I want to wear a specific shirt, I got to scroll through all that stuff. That's a pain. So what if we had a closet that you could, like a bank, where you could put a bunch of your stuff and then go back and get it if you want it later. But you wouldn't lose it from your character. It'd just be a place to stash it so it doesn't show up in your inventory.
Yeah, we'd have to.
How hard is that?
We don't have any code. We don't have any coders on our panel.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that isn't anything that this group of people. can
Maybe
take
Ron
care of.
Mar or somebody is watching from home. And
Where's Mitch? Someone go grab Mitch.
yeah, he's here. We should ask Mitch.
It'll take forever.
We'll look into it.
Over there, let me find.
We had talked about it in the earlier panel, with the mounts, the issue where as more mounts have been
Oh.
added, you've gotten to the point where people have become a collect them all aspect of it.
Right.
It takes quite a while to cycle through to some type of a hotbar key binding for specific.
So the question was, can we add a system where you can pull up a specific mount to like a hotkey or something rather than scroll through 6
Or even
layers
just
of stuff?
stabling some that you have or something. Like I would love to be able to do that with pets, rides, even reevaluate the quick item bar.
So if we did the closet, you could then use a version of that for, not that you want to lock your pets in the closet, but don't do that at home. Put some food and water in.
You can put those skeletons.
But that system would work for the rest of the stuff, right? Right? So like,
yeah,
it's an inventory, right?
Well,
It's an inventory. If you had an inventory system that you could bank
sort
that stuff.
of. Yeah, without going into crazy
Yeah, that's
specifics
a
like
discussion for.
Well, the same way that we're using the same code, the same tech for farming and we're using for ranching, right? In a similar way, we could apply clauses to.
Potentially, we could.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I have a pipe dream kind of question. My son plays on PS3, and I know one of the big pulls is that you parents can play with their children, but my wife and I can't unless we buy a second PlayStation 3 and put it on a second
And?
television. So I was wondering how possible or feasible, or have you thought of cross servers from PC to PlayStation?
Does that pick up on?
I don't-
He's pretty close to mine. Does that pick up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know that will ever happen just because we have to go through SCEA, Sony Computer Entertainment, to submit our builds to them and go through a separate process. So trying to keep the PC and the PS3 up to date with the same code base and data data and everything probably won't happen. I don't know if there is a huge, any
Well,
sort of suggestion. Maybe
Yeah.
switch him over to the PC and invest in a game controller.
Yeah, the only way that you can play cross-platform right now is if you're on a Mac and somebody else is on a PC. They're on the same server, but PS3 to computer, yeah.
It's very different.
We just don't have the control over the PS3 version that we do with the PC.
I'd heard also that the updates were kind of behind on that as well.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, there's a different approval process and everything that happens with SCEA stuff.
It definitely takes longer.
He doesn't notice, but
In a few years.
Yeah. he will pick up on it. Okay.
You should be sitting in here and giving you its own suggestions.
Could you make the backpacks able to store stuff in that?
Can we store stuff in the backpacks? That would be kind of cool.
Like, what kind of items would you be thinking you would want to buy?
Extra set of weapons, clothes, just like where you would put in the closet, it'd be in the backpack, and you'd have a budget. So you wouldn't have to go back home.
You can protect what's in your backpack right now because you
It's
pull
in
the
your
inventory. It's with you.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know how
She's
you
more
know
just
that
like a
it's in your
little, I
backpack.
think mainly like what I think would be closer to what she was saying would be a like a quick set of items that you would use for certain things.
So you have like a hot bar or something tied to your backpack that.
So you don't have to go through your whole list of what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it'd be like a quick select set or something.
Favorites,
Yeah.
would be sitting on the loadout, yeah.
that did be right there, open it up, you got it.
That could be cool, yeah.
And especially with the fact that you can now make crazy customized outfits if you're a VIP.
Mhm.
And you can put on whatever you want. And I imagine there's probably people who have a lot of
No, there's
Cool
people in the
combinations.
forums who've already spec'd out our a UI suggestion on how
okay.
to manage the whole adventure, wearing everything.
Wow.
That we should probably forward to Brad.
So we've got time for probably
one more. Actually,
One more question.
Just not a question, but just real quick, thank you guys for that, whoever made the call on doing that with the VIP to, basically unlock, here's everything, grab whatever you want to wear, thank you. That really opened a level of customization that again, that it was missing, I love that feature now.
Glad you like it.
good job.
I think it
Good
was
job, you guys.
combo, Eric, me, and a bunch of people, so probably you. All right.
We're getting dark.